Hello, everyone, and today we're here interviewing Ville, a Starbase developer that is part of Empire. So, with Starbase having groups of devs playing amongst the masses running their own factions, where does that leave Empire? What form of goals and standings does it want to have in both a roleplay sense and an actual sense?
Um, yeah, main goal of the Empire in its core is to protect both its members and any non-Empire player who wishes to play Starbase in the area under Empire's influence. So we are giving the protection for anybody who wants it, and offer a stable dev-backed faction for any player who wants to associate them with the Empire. Um, and basically play the Starbase within our faction. And we still have players sitting their own play, and we just on our dev side we have our own high-end goals and plans, but mostly the day-to-day Empire is led by players. So my own role in Empire is more militaristic side, which is the majority of what Empire right now is. So yeah, that also reflects the fact that Empire is very, very heavily militaristic-oriented faction. So we are led by the Emperor and the military leadership under him. And when it comes to roleplay, I think it's split between the outside, what we give to the non-Empire players, and what happens inside. I think from outside we keep the Empire flavor, but when it comes to diplomacy and stuff like that, we don't really role play that much. We are more direct of our approach, and within the community itself, inside the Empire, it's really up to every member to have their own level of role play and how they want to things to be done. But again, we still lead the Empire mostly out of role play elements and have the role play take a form like let's say a milsim, let's say Arma milsim operation style of thing, wherein it's more like a when we are playing the game actually in the game Starbase and doing missions and stuff. There is where the at least some milsim elements have already been rooted into our community within our regiments.
All right, sounds pretty cool, actually. With the release of Closed Alpha, it brings up the question as a follow-up, how does Empire plan to operate as a unit at the various stages of release? Most people right now would say everyone is meant to just test the boundaries of the game, but what about after that? What about when more and more people are being let in?
The closed alpha stage for Empire, we are pretty free to let our members do what they want to do, and for the Empire itself, we are seeing how our planned organization can handle the game itself, and what we need to change in upcoming early access. And yeah, it's early steps for the Empire in that part, but most parts now we are just focusing on post alpha, testing the game, learning the game, and then a little later we are already in that stage where we start to implement our plans for the Empire. So we have done little unrelated convoy events, for example, where we are acting as the convoy and the community can attack us, and we have had 3 of those so far. And for the faction itself, we are how would I say, it's more like making sure that our plans really work and what we need to change more than anything else right now.
All right. And since we're speaking about the future, where do you really see Empire being 2 years from now? How do you think it might be different? And how do you plan on tackling whatever changes may come?
Yeah, that's a big, quite loaded question, but I think we are well prepared for any small and large challenges that might coming in the future, which of course will come for any faction of this size. So once we have found our place, like how Empire really should be, I think we are, as we get past the growing pains, so to say, we are likely to see what has been not promised but talked about with Empire and Kingdom, is that we will likely be locked in the locked in a war with Kingdom that is likely going to have these ups and downs, like low intensity fighting, and then turn that's up to a notch to a full-blown war and peacetime. So there is some time to both factions to cool off and rebuild and stuff. But besides the war between Kingdom and our rivalry, we are of course aiming to have our own slice of Starbase base, so to say, and have our region that we control to be economic trade hub for that region, and offer all kinds of services for any companies or other factions to any other faction to have some opportunity within Empire space. Like currently we have contracted several factions, but shipyard factions to compete in our fighter program, for example.
All right. One thing does come to mind when you say that, how Empire does plan on holding physical space in the game. What is the plan for if there's a large player faction that decides to dispute that and they say they want to conquer all of Empire space? How does that work? Like, would you just at that point declare war on a player faction, or how exactly would that go out?
I think it's case by case basis, but if we say that there is a player faction that wants to conquer Empire controlled space, well, we are of course declaring war on us, but yeah, we would challenge them by their terms, and we would fight, of course. So we treat ourselves as much as any faction would. So we don't have any reason to pull our punches away, so to say. So we will fight as we need to, and it depends how it turns out. But because I don't know how wars will end in Starbase, but we would see the war to its end, however it's going to end. So it's a complete total war. Well, one faction will likely control other factions' territory, at least in we have to see, but we would try to make sure that the faction is no longer a threat for us in any way means necessary.
All right. And I was also wanting to ask more about the way that Empire would control space. Does it expect to just hold the one region, or does it expect true Imperial fashion to just keep expanding outwards?
I think our expansion has two kind of ways of expanding. We don't plan to conquer any other faction or a company and make them cease existing as an offensive operation. And still we plan to expand, but we try to expand peacefully to unclaimed areas and make sure that when we expand, we allow others to expand with us. So we are not trying to grab it for ours just for Empire, but we try to have others to come with us. So we are more like a force, that military that protects everybody else expanding, and we expand with them and we help them out while they're doing it, and they are helping us out. So it's a mutual expansion. And of course, if some faction wants to control certain areas, we will negotiate and see how we should approach that. So it's a diplomatic procedure for those parts. Yeah, it's it will retain some imperial flavor in that sense. That's how we quote unquote role play that, but we try to remain fair, and I think we still I think we plan to be wherever the Starbase's frontier is going to be. We are planning to be in that frontier as Empire.
All right. And also, with a name like Empire, to me it begs the question, what form of empire that will it be, at least historically wise, strictly the kind with only one ruler, the emperor, or will it be like other historical examples where there will be the emperor with kings under him, with dukes under him, and counts under him, and so on and so forth? And is it planned to have that sort of noble and aristocratic hierarchy when it comes to governing the ever-expanding zone of influence, or will it be a more simple system with the one emperor and a chain of military command?
Well, I think at our core we are a military autocratic empire. So VilleFB is above everybody as emperor, and then all the position underneath that can be filled by players. Or, well, in my case, I'm currently overseeing the military side of things as leader, but I don't have plans to stay in that seat forever. So anybody can rise to that position, and we will still hold our military culture in a sense that we don't. Not many leaders in our empire currently are fan of civilian leadership systems, and we are planning to have a military commanders to oversee certain regions. So they are basically once empire zone is very large, they could easily become like these military provinces commanded by certain higher ranking military commanders, of course still reporting to emperor or even higher chain of command into military.
All right. And does Empire really plan on creating any grand cities or royal capitals on the moons or any other planet-based objects, or does it plan on being completely spacefaring and station-based?
I think we have plans on all fronts, but when it comes to so to say capitals and stuff, I'm quite sure, I can't confirm, but I think our plan is to have the Imperial Capital itself, the Royal Imperial Station, to be actual space station. At least I've been having that kind of ideas being thrown around by our emperor, so we'll have to see. But I think all of those grand projects are likely going to be in moons, maybe later in planets, and of course in large, huge space stations.
All right. And one thing a lot of us have been wondering is how exactly did the devs decide who amongst themselves got to lead the factions? Was it by volunteer, job opening, or an intense game of rock, paper, scissors? And as a follow-up to that, on how were the officers and various other top people chosen?
I think all of that started from Laurie and Joel when they decided that there is two in-depth factions, Empire and Kingdom, and rest of the dev involvement besides those two is decided by their own interest, and if they have time to contribute to two factions, which is being case for myself. Nobody really asked me to do anything for either of the factions. I just stepped in and wanted to help because I wanted to help creating, in this case, Empire's military. But outside the dev involvements, all of our officers in the leadership has been chosen by their dedication and capabilities to fill those positions. But of course, they still we look into that they are capable and are they have the same interest and same values that Empire holds.
All right. And I know one other burning question that a lot of people seem to have is kind of the Empire involvement with other player factions, more notably like the recent events with Lodestar. Going forward, does Empire plan on being that forward with other various alliance groups, and what really benefit is it really seeking to gain by allying with players?
The main, well, I think best start is to start why we allied with Lodestar for this defensive alliance. The main point was that Lodestar, almost to the letter, is formed from same values and interests as the Empire exists. So it's to provide security and, well, literally fight to any faction and their own members, so they can have security. So if there is to, like, we in Empire, we would all, of course, seek similar alliances with other factions if they would share the interests. But of course, we have to make sure that Empire doesn't like become one huge. It doesn't become like a spider web of alliances with everybody, because then that wouldn't work. I won't work at all in Starbase's case, because I think the faction warfare and politics eventually is at the faction level quite an important part of the Starbase, like a sandbox experience. So we'll have to see. It's a case by case situation with each faction. We can negotiate different deals with everybody. So it's not like a have one template for all of our diplomatic solutions.
All right. I think that's all we have time for actually today. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. And I'll leave the link to the Empire Diplomatic Discord down below. And that's all for today, guys. See ya.